The movie takes area within the small city of Vengenberg, where a younger lady named Yennefer lives with a skewed face and a disgusting hump inside the owned family of a cattleman because of her ugly appearance. The woman is continuously mocked by using the locals, and at some point, whilst Yennefer is over again mocked by using a couple of nearby younger guys, the girl accidentally opens a portal to the magical Tor Lara in Aretuza, where she's met by means of the younger wizard Istrid. The man is concerned. All magic leaves lines, which wizards can use to discover someone who has even an ounce of magic in them. He makes a decision to store the budding sorceress and opens a secure portal that brings Yennefer domestic. Time later, a lovely and wealthy woman arrives at the farm of the female's father to buy a pig. But upon seeing the woman, she expresses a desire to buy her too. And the father, who does not hide his disgust for his daughter, sells her for half the rate of the animal, regardless of the pleas of her mother, who recognizes the girl as a witch. So Yennefer finds herself within the magical college of the enchantress Tisaya Devi, where numerous girls are already analyzing. At first, Yennefer takes the separation from domestic tough and how low her father judged her. She even attempted to commit suicide. But when classes start, she discovers that the young wizard become right. It turned into her inadvertent wizardry that precipitated a wave and stuck the eye of the school's rector, the wizardess Tisaya. The girls who have a look at the college have also distinguished themselves with the same precise abilities. Soon Tisaya holds the primary take a look at. The girls ought to elevate a stone and a flower without touching them and the usage of a spell. Everyone extra or less manages to cope with the undertaking, however Yennefer fails. The lady stubbornly attempts over and over till Tisaya stops her. Frustrated, Yennefer runs away. Later, she reveals Istrid within the cave and tells him her name. Sometime later, Tisaya trains her girl pupils to recognize man's best fear. She seats the girls in pairs and orders them to inspect every other's eyes until they get inside their rivals' schemes. Yennefer pairs up to inspire the woman, however she again fails. Tisaya is enraged, Yennefer is vain. And this is because she is mendacity to herself. Even if she were a splendor, no one would love her, although she's now not the simplest one to whom she has troubles. Yennefer shares the issues with her best friend, Istrid, who talks approximately his schooling. He, too, become having a tough time with the entirety. This boy gives to read his mind, and the female succeeds. One night, Tisaya wakes the girls within the middle of a hurricane and takes them to the Tor Lara, the maximum powerful magic region on the continent, frontu that's simplest open to individuals of the Wizard Brotherhood. Today, there can be a test within the art of controlling the flows of chaos, which calls for catching lightning in a bottle. The women do now not consider in this sort of opportunity, and some get sturdy discharges even after catching the lightning. Yennefer's flip comes and she reaches up with the bottle, but its miles thrown again against the wall. Enraged, she directs her energy at her more fortunate opponent, Tisaya, blocking her mental blow. Later, she reprimands her apprentice she almost killed nowadays, which means that her emotions can spoil her very own. Tisaya cannot be sure that Yennefer will no longer go along with your emotions and harm her school, for she's to turn out to be a court docket sorceress, and the susceptible have no location close to a ruler. The enchantress already doubts that there is anything in her that the wizarding chapter needs. Frustrated, Yennefer tells Istrid the entirety. But most importantly, the enchantress is aware of all approximately them, and they may not be capable of see each other again. The guy is inclined to expose her different, extra-historical and powerful magic, however it's miles very dangerous. He suggests her the skulls of the useless elves who constructed Aretuza. They had been the first wizards of the continent, and they have been the ones who built all the magical places. But humans came to the continent and slaughtered them. Skrid gives her a flower which could most effective grow in which the elder blood rests, and reads a spell, which via repeating it the girl opens a portal. The astonished wizard does no longer recognize how she managed to do it the primary time, and Yennefer confesses that her actual father was a half-elf who died within the purge. It turned into his blood that made her unsightly. The boy kisses Yennefer and confesses his love. Later, she shows Tisaya the flower. It turns out that this was her assignment, to get the plant by way of making use of the abilities of fake emotion. Yennefer hopes to be accelerated. The enchantress guarantees that she will be able to quickly pay attention, knock and understand, while it's time. Meanwhile, Istrid is likewise reporting to his mentor, Strygober, approximately what he has found out approximately the female. One night, Yennefer hears a knock at her neighbor's door and, taking the flower, goes after them. She peeks out as Tisaya turns the four of them into eels. The enchantress knows the lady is right here and orders her to come out and push her former fellow students into the wall. They are actually the conduits of magic for Aretuza. Yennefer performs this, after which sees many silhouettes of former schoolmates in the water. Time passes. Yennefer enjoys a love affair with Istrid, making use of what she has learned to enhance the effect of intimacy. Thus, someday she created an entire crowd that watched their intimacy and then rewarded the lovers with applause. The guys amazed at her imagination. What will she provide you with next time? So the day of the final rite is coming near, after which they will be masters in their very own future. Yennefer desires of graduating from Aretuza and returning to her native Aearn as a powerful sorceress to reveal her long-time abusers and her father what she's been able to acquire. In addition, all Aretuza graduates are perfected before being dispatched to the distinctive kingdoms. All physical defects are eliminated, which awaits Yennefer as properly. The wizard in charge suggests her his paintings, the wonderful beauty of the graduates, and guarantees her an similarly fantastic end result. He suggests making her color a noble but robust gray. Tissaia alternatively teaches her to look in the replicate and notice what Yennefer herself wishes. She orders the female to shut her eyes and consider the most powerful woman in the international. Yennefer complies with the order, however does not yet see the promised splendor. Meanwhile, the bankruptcy of wizards gathers in Aretuza to decide wherein their graduates must move, for all kings need court docket wizards. Then it transpires that one of the leaders of the council, the wizard Stregobor, knows that Yennefer is a Korra elf, because of this that she can now not be every day at Aretuza, in which there may be a prejudice against elves. The chapter votes to ship Yennefer to Nilfgaard, which the aspiring enchanter does not like. She needs a target market with the chapter. However, Tissaia announces herself in charge of the distribution. Yennefer is beside herself. She has no goal of wasting her life serving the king of a small southern country and a lover of women. The instruct reminds her of the elven blood, and the woman is familiar with how Stregobor knew approximately it. The initiation ceremony starts, which Yennefer does no longer attend. Worried, Istrid finds her in the back of a letter to her father, asking him to affirm that she is his personal daughter. The boy does no longer accept as true with that this letter can persuade the bankruptcy, but the female virtually does now not recognize what to do, for even though Istrid disproves his words approximately her origins, no one will accept as true with him anymore. So the enchanter is pissed off. He failed to realize why Stregobor needed this information, and she has already missed all the initiation spells. Istrid shows that she need to go along with him, for he has been offered to end up an explorer. They can journey the continent and find out the unknowable. But unexpectedly, the woman cruelly redeems. She's no longer going to dig via the dust of the long time in any respect. And these are his goals and intentions, and her opinion, as always, he does now not even ask. Istrid is stunned. Yennefer isn't always at all what he conceived she became, and he expresses his opinion that she's angry because she ignored her hazard to locate splendor. But a lady wishes strength, and she did not revel in a lot worry, analyzing at the magic college for not anything. Yennefer runs to the enchanter, who's in charge of perfection and needs to expose her art. Not even the lack of a potion to stupid the terrible ache that accompanies the transformation manner stops her. As the magician begins the manner, Yennefer asks for her eyes and the reduce marks on her arms as a reminder of her former weakness, and the wizard informs her that each magic has a rate. Having been reborn, she can no longer have the ability to walk, but the woman is of the same opinion to the whole lot, even to the elimination of her womb, essential for an entire transformation. The magician reads spells, and the girl screams in horrible pain and rips the chains with which she turned into tied to the table. Her backbone straightens, her complete frame seems to melt and shift from one shape to every other. Finally, writhing in ache, Yennefer loses consciousness. Meanwhile, inside the important corridor of Aretuza, the initiation ball maintains. Suddenly, Tissaia sees a door starting, in which stands an unusually stunning woman with violet eyes. She realizes that Yennefer has disobeyed her orders and hurries to take her away. But it is too overdue. The Aearn ruler has already observed the splendor. He invites her to a dance, where he expresses his preference to see her as court wizard in his kingdom. Tissaia has to retreat, and Handiest watch the dance of the king and the enchantress from afar. Directed based totally on a chain of books by means of Sapkowski, The Witcher is pretty curious, charming and brilliant. It's a curious system of magic. The arena of monsters and metallic swords transferred pretty properly, so the adventures of the lady protagonist will be even more thrilling within the next episodes.